So yes, I'm recording this class. Okay, this is 2.13 polynomial division, part 2 and third hour. Okay, that's better. All right. Okay, so what do we notice? What do we wonder from this? So this one right here, these are actually long division. So long division, you guys remember that? Kinda, hopefully? Yeah, kinda? Somewhat? No? You don't? No? Maybe? You don't remember? Okay, some people actually never did it. So, and the reason for that is I know not everyone actually did the same schooling. A whole bunch of other people actually did some other weird 7 type of thing and added up a bunch of numbers and eventually came up to the right answer. But, yeah. Okay, here's a lot. This is a whole lot easier. Okay, so now, if we're looking at this, we're going through and we're seeing, so how many times 11 goes into 27, goes in 2 times, we have 22, we subtract, and then we get 5, bring down the 7, and we get 57, it goes in 5 times, and so it's going to be going into there. So it goes in 5 times 11 is 55, we got subtract, and we got remainder 2, bring down the 2, and we got 22 right here, so multiply by 2, 2 times this, subtract, we get 0. So that means that this goes in evenly with no remainder. So the same thing is going to happen in the same aspect. So what happens is we take our first leading coefficient and we try to actually make that one fit. Because we're trying to make it into the same number as we have right there. That number is going to be 2x cubed. So my first number right here, or my first term is x. So x times that is going to give me 2x cubed, and then I distribute, so it's right here plus 2x squared. Now, this is slightly different than the way I actually like doing it, because it's confusing. So, I'm going to show you, it's slightly different. X plus 1. Okay, so I have my 2x cubed plus 7x squared plus 7x plus 2. All right, so again, like I said, match the first one. How many digits is this? Okay, it's 2 separate terms, right? So 1 digit here, 1 digit here. We have 2 separate terms, so I need to go over and use 2 terms. So if I am plugging it in, I'm using 2 terms here. I have to have 2 terms this way. Okay, so 2 terms this way, 2 terms this way. So, and I'm trying to match this first one. So I'm going to multiply this right here, by something to get 2x cubed. It's going to be 2x squared. And so since I said I need to take up 2 digits, or two terms, it's 2x squared right here. And so I multiply this times each one of those. So I'm going to distribute it like that. So when I do that, it's going to be 2x cubed, right? So 2x cubed, and then when I distribute the second one, it's going to be plus 2x squared. So this is where the differ actually comes in. So we're going to do this. Put a parentheses here, and we have to subtract all that. So we're going to, like in here, I just put subtraction, subtraction, subtraction. But now when I'm dealing with the polynomial, and it has more than one term, and I'm subtracting, that means I need to actually distribute the negative into both terms. So that's what happened. That's why there's a minus sign here and here from this. So if I'm doing that, it's going to be a minus 2x cubed. So that's going to give me 0, right? So 2x cubed minus 2x cubed, that gives me 0. So I'm going to put that there. And then it's going to distribute here also. So this is going to make this one right here a minus sign. So 7x squared minus 2x squared. Positive 5, right? So positive 5x squared. How many terms do I have here?
2.
How many terms do I need here? I need 2. I need 2 terms, so I need to bring down that next one. So if I bring down, I like drawing little arrows. So it's going to be plus 7x. I'm worried that, no, please tell me that's not my calculator. Because I know, you know, yeah, it's your phone, right? Okay, it's not my calculator. That's why I can't have nice things. All right, so again, 2 terms here, 2 terms here. So what am I going to need? So I have 2 terms, so I'm going to go over to the next one, right? Since I have 2 terms going down this way. So I have to match this one right here, this 5x squared. What am I going to multiply by to make this into 5x squared? 5x. So it's a positive or negative? Plus 5x. So now I'm going to take that and I'm going to distribute that now in 2. So I'm going to distribute that like that. And then like that. So 5x times x, 5x squared. And 5x times 1, plus 5x. Now, here's the different thing again. I parentheses this, and then I subtract. Because I have to subtract all of it. So again, I'm distributing negative as I do this. So I get 5x squared minus 5x squared. 0. Very good. And again, 7x, right? Minus 5x, because I'm distributing the negative there.
2x.
Positive 2x. Okay? So how many terms am I dealing with? 2. I need 2. So let's bring down. So it's a plus 2. Now what am I going to need to actually make this next one match? I'm going to need what? I'm going to need a plus 2, right? I'm going to need a plus 2 to make it match this one down here. So to match this, it's going to be a plus 2. And then distribute those. So 2x times x, 2x. 2x times 1, parentheses, subtract. 2x minus 2x, and 2 minus 2. So this whole thing is 0. So it goes in evenly. So what my answer is coming out with is that this times this gives me this. So it is going to be factors. So one way of writing it would be x plus 1. And then there is my 2x squared plus 5x plus 2. All right, let's take a look at the next problem. So hopefully you guys finished up those division problems from the other day. Remember I told you on Friday, I asked you guys that page 44, it wasn't trimmed up. I told you not to put that in the notebook because I'm going to start collecting each one by hand now. So all the practices I'm going to ask for it the next day. So hopefully I can get a little bit more interaction and work done. So Diego used long division shown here. Figure out that 6x squared minus 7x minus 5 is equal to this. Show how you would do it if you have used the diagram. Okay. So let me see. So we're working this one backwards now. So my terms are right here. Here's my 2x plus 1. 2x plus 1, right? Yes?
Yeah.
Okay, there's my 2x plus 1. And I have my 6x squared, which is, this is my first piece going in here. So, on top, let's figure out on top. What am I going to multiply by 2x to get 6x squared? 3x, very good. So it's going to be a 3x up there, right? Remember, as we do these, we work our way down, right? So we figure out this one now, we work our way down. Now this is a multiplication, isn't it? So it's going to be 3x times 1. Very good. Okay, so what was the next term that I'm going to have here? Okay, right here, negative 7x, remember? So negative 7x is my next number, isn't it? So negative 7x. So that's what I have to have, because remember, these two together, this one here and this one here have to come up to be this one here. Negative 10. So I'm going to get negative 10, right? Negative 10. Very good. So I got that. So now those two together will add up to be my negative 7. Now let's go back to this one over here. Remember, so right here, these multiply together. And so to get my negative 10x, it's going to be a negative 5. So I get negative 5 right there. And then let's go ahead and bring down my last one. Remember, the last one just comes out. Negative 5. So my last term and my first term should just start off in those two boxes right there. So were we able to come up with the same answer? Yeah. So we got 2x plus 1 times quantity of 3x minus 5. If I wanted to verify and check my work to make sure I am correct, what could I have done? Don't everyone jump in once. What could I do to check that that's right? Distribute. We could also distribute, right? We can multiply it back together to see if we get the right answer. So my answer I'm supposed to get is right here. So I'm going to do that. So it's going to give me 6x squared minus 10x. Then right here we get plus 4x. No, plus 3x, I'm sorry. And right here, minus 5. Combine my like terms. And 6x squared minus 7x minus 5. So I was able to actually use this chart to be able to fill it out, and to verify my work, I can multiply it back together. All right, this is a factor of this big thing right here, which means there is some other factor A here that it's going to be also a number. Finish this to figure out what it is. All right, again, I don't like the way that they set it up, so I like setting mine up differently, because I like having my minus sign on the outside, okay, because we're just trying to match this all the time. So again, it's going to be the x minus 2. And then I should have my 2x cubed minus 7x squared plus x plus 10. Okay, so how many terms am I working with here? 2. So how many do I have to go over? I have to go over 2, right? So that's where I'm going to put my first number. So I'm trying to make this, my 2x cubed, by multiplying just by x. What number is missing that to actually get this one? 2x squared. So I'm going to go over 2x squared. So 2x squared is going to give me my first one, right? And now I'm going to distribute that to make this one work. So as I distribute this, I now get 2x cubed. But when I distribute it, I have to distribute to the second one also. My second one is going to give me a negative 2 times a positive 2x squared, which is negative 4x squared, right? Negative 4x squared, that comes out. And then, like I said, I like doing it this way. Parentheses and a negative out front. Because I know I'm subtracting the whole thing, right? I'm subtracting. I just did my distribution here, and I'm going to subtract the whole thing. So I'm going to have to distribute. So what's going to make that, what's going to make happen to that negative 4? That's going to become positive now, isn't it? Okay, so let's go ahead. So 2x cubed minus 2x cubed. Okay, that gives me 0, right? And then this becomes a plus 4x squared. So negative 7x squared and a positive 4x squared. Negative 3x squared. Very good. So I need how many terms? I need 2 terms. So I'm bringing down one more term. So it's plus x, right? It's plus x. So now what term do I have to match now? Very good. The negative 3x squared. I have to match that now. So to match the negative 3x squared, what am I going to multiply by? Negative 3x, right? Because right here I have a positive, so I'm missing a negative 3x for this one. Minus 3x. So again, do my distribution for this. So when I do my distribution, I'm multiplying by a negative 3x. So a negative 3x times a positive x, it's a negative 3x squared. And a negative 3x times a negative 2, positive 6x. Again, parentheses, my negative sign, my minus sign right there. So when I distribute the negative that's out front, it's going to make the negative 3x squared become a positive, right? So I have a minus 3x squared and a plus 3x squared, which gives me 0. And then I have my negative, which is also going to go to the 6, right? So it's going to be a negative 6x. So on top I have a positive 1x and a negative 6x, which gives me negative 5x. All right, we have to have two terms, so I bring down one term. So I'm bringing down my 10. So my positive 10, I'm bringing that down. So as I bring that down, now what's the term I have to look for now? The negative 5x, right? The negative 5x. So to make this over here into negative 5x, I need to multiply by what?
Negative 5.
Just negative 5, right? So negative 5 is going to help me. So negative 5, I do my distribution, that's going to give me a negative 5x. And the negative 5 times negative 2, positive 10. There you go. Parentheses around it, and I'm subtracting that. So when I distribute the negative, that's going to become a 5x, right? Positive. So that's going to become 0. And then a 10 minus 10 is also 0. So that factors out evenly. If there's nothing remaining, there's nothing left over, you have a 0 right here at the end. That means that you have 0 remainder. It goes in evenly. It is exactly product. So we're going to write this out. And in this case, the a value it's looking for, it's going to be x minus 2 times, what's the value that I'm missing? 2x squared minus 3x minus 5. There we go. So that is the value for this a that I was able to find out using division. Question? Yes. Oh man, I was hoping like math question or something, or is this just too easy? Okay, too easy. All right, go ahead. Anyone else? Question? We're kind of going through this kind of quickly, so I'm hoping I'm not, running over anyone. Question? Ask me a question. I don't know? That's not a question. That's a statement.
Yeah.
You don't have a question? Okay. How was my day? It's all right. I'll take that. JD used the diagram shown here to figure out that this is broken up into that. Show what work it would look like if she had used long division. Okay. So, here's the box. Blah, 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 right? So, basically tells us what answer we need. Anyway, but two terms here, right? How many terms do I go over?
2.
I go over 2. So, my leading term is 2x. So, what am I going to have to multiply to make it into a 2x cubed? X squared. So I go over, it's going to be x squared, right? So now when I distribute that, I'm going to get 2x cubed. And as I distribute, I get plus 1x squared. Put my minus out front. So when I subtract it, this 2x cubed minus 2x cubed is 0. And then, but this next one is going to be a minus x squared. So I have 13x squared minus x squared. What is that going to give me? Positive 12. Very good. positive 12x squared. So I only have one term there, so I need to bring down another one, right? Let's bring down another one. So plus 16x. So to get 2x out here, to get 2x, what am I going to need to multiply by to get 2x to turn into 12x squared? 6x. So I'm going to multiply, right? So it's going to be a positive 6x. Positive 6x. So as I distribute that, I get my positive 12x squared. And I get plus 6x. So put my nice parentheses and then subtraction. So my first term should always go away. If your first term does not go away, then you did something wrong. That's the whole point of this thing, is eliminating the first term. And then just keep working it down. So we should have 0 for the x squareds. And then it's positive 16x minus 6x, which is? Are we okay? Yeah. Okay. Okay, positive 16x minus 6x. 10? Yeah, it's 10. 10x. Very good. Bring down my 5. My positive 5 right there. All right, so now I got to make this 2x into a 10x, so I multiply by positive 5. Do my distribution. So 5 times 2x is 10x. 5 times 1, parentheses, and we come up with 0. So does this go in evenly?
Yes.
Yes, it does. It does factor out evenly. So that means there is nothing remaining. So that means that these two things will multiply to be my factor. Yes, x squared plus 6x plus. There we go. Question? We good?
We good.
Oh, we good. All right. So this one right here is going to be the tricky one, because this time we have stuff missing. So which one goes on the outside and which one goes on the inside? X minus 1 should go on the outside because it's divided by that number. So when it's divided like this, this is going to go on the outside. So it's x minus 1. Now, whenever I'm doing this, I have to make accommodations for every term. Every term going all the way through. So right here I'm going to start off with x to the 4th. That's my leading term. Now, I also have to count for x cubed. How many x cubes do I have? Nope. Nope. I heard it. 0x cubed. I don't have any, do I? There's no x cubed. Okay, like I said, we have to account for every one. So, how many x squareds do we have? So it's going to be plus 0x squared. All right, how many x to the first do I have? Right here, we're looking at this one right here. I don't have any, do I? So it'd be plus 0x. And then after that, it is minus 1. So we have to count for all place values. So let's go ahead. How many terms am I dealing with here? 2 terms, so therefore I have to go over 2 terms, right? So if I do that, what's going to make my leading term x to the fourth? X cubed. So x cubed. Actually, do you know what? I feel like changing it up. X cubed. So as I distribute, that's going to give me x to the fourth and minus x cubed. Right? Because I'm distributing this to this and this. This is why I said we have to account for everything, because when I distribute right here, I am going to have an x cubed. So therefore, I have to have them all lining up all the way through. If I did not do that, if I did not put in zeros for the ones I don't have, they would not line up. That's super important. So let's go ahead. And that's going to give me 0x to the fourth. And it's going to be plus, right? X cubed. So now x cubed is the next term I'm dealing with here. So to multiply to get x cubed, I need x squared, right? Positive plus x squared. So let's go ahead and distribute that one now. So if I distribute that one, it's going to give me x cubed.
Are we taking the x squared down? The arrow?
What do you mean? Oh, yes, I'm sorry. You're right. Yeah, I didn't carry that down yet. So this is plus 0x squared. You're right. I'm sorry, I didn't carry it down. So yes, okay, so now on that one I get my x cubed, and this is going to become a minus, right? A minus x squared. So I would eventually had to deal with it, making sure they did line up, bringing it down. Okay, thank you for pointing that out. So these x cubes go away, and now I'm going to be left with a plus x squared, right? So bring down my positive x squared, and again my, there you go, horrible arrow. Man, that was horrible. I can do better. Come on. There, a little bit better. Plus 0x. So now that I got that, let's go ahead and I now have to try and match my x squared. I need to match the x squared now. So what's going to make this x into x squared?
X.
Plus x. Positive x. Distribute that. And it should be x squared minus x. Parentheses. My subtraction. Okay, my x squareds go away. I'm left with just positive x, right? Bring down my -1. So let's see, what's missing from my last term right here? What do I have to multiply to get x if I already have an x? Just 1. Positive? Positive 1. So as I distribute that, I'm going to get a positive x, and I'm going to get a -1. So when I subtract those, I should get 0 altogether. So my answer is going to be x minus 1, x cubed plus x squared plus x. Right? All right, so now, okay, hopefully you guys got some room somewhere. I want you guys to do this one. It was x7 minus 1. Yep, there you go. All right, I want you people trying this one. Yes, you guys are working on this. need to, another piece of paper or something off to the side, you know, somewhere on here. You should have room for this.
I don't know what you did
What do you mean?
to make these, the zeros or whatever that you did.
Oh, was there any? Well, was there an x, which one would I have? Was there an x cubed in this? Say no.
I don't know.
So there's 0 x cubed, right? Is there an x squared here?
I don't know. Oh, in there?
No, so it's 0 x squared. Was there just an x right here?
Yeah.
No.
Not just an X.
No, there's not. And so there's 0 x, right? That's the way I was able to set up that last one. So that's why it started off with, I don't know what that says. Yeah, you're missing a lot of work here on that one. Yeah. And that's what it's gonna look like. So you guys are trying it, I'm hoping you guys. Alright, let's see if we go through this quickly. It should be x sixth. Let me see. That should give me x6. There we go. So, you guys should have came up with a very long one like that, right?
Yeah.
Alright, so we're going to skip around a little bit on this next one. So, we're not going to do this one. Okay, this one's already set up. We've already done a bunch of them that they're already set up. Let's do this one here. So, it's not set up for you. So, let's start by setting it up. What goes on the outside?
X minus
X minus 3. Inside is going to be x cubed minus 3x squared minus 13x plus 15. All right, how many terms am I dealing with? Two terms, right? Two terms, so I have to go over two terms. And so what's going to be my first thing I'm going to multiply by?
X squared.
X squared, right? So x squared, that's going to give me x cubed minus 3x squared, right? Okay. What's going to happen here?
0. Cancel out.
I get everything 0, right?
Yeah.
So I have 0 x squared, right? So this is the reason why I said how many terms do we have? So bring down negative 13x, right?
Yeah.
So for this one right here, how do I get this to be 0? Times what? 0. I'm going to multiply by 0. That's important. So I'm going to multiply up here by 0, by 0x, right? So plus 0x. That's important. So if this first term is 0, I need to multiply by 0. So that's going to be 0x, and then multiply that out. It's going to give me 0x squared, right? And then it's going to be minus 0x, right? Yes?
Yeah. X plus 3.
Plus and minus gives me a minus.
No, I mean
Holy cow. Thank you. Man. See? Man. Okay. I screwed up.
okay.
Man, look at that. Alright, so it should be a plus 3, shouldn't it?
That's what we say.
I know. Why'd you say that then? Man, no one said anything.
You did.
Huh? Yeah, he just did. Good job for catching up. I'll give you a sticker. Alright. So, it's supposed to be a plus sign, so that screwed it up. Alright. Same step. Right here, I need x squared, right? So, x squared. So, it's going to be x cubed plus 3x squared, right? Go ahead, distribute. I get negative 6x squared. Bring that down, I get negative 13x. So the next term that I have to cancel out is my negative 6x squared, right? Negative 6x squared, so I need negative 6x. So as I distribute that, I get my negative 6x squared, and then I get a negative 18x. Okay, so distribute, my first term goes away, and I'm going to get a positive 18x, which is 5x, and bring down my 15. So, I need just positive 5, right? Distribute, I get 5x plus 15. There we go. Now, there's something you guys might be able to notice right here. This is super important to notice for this next part. To get this number right here, to get that last number, and it goes the same thing with the boxes, the squares, I had a 3. I had a 3 already I was working with, right? So what does that mean my last number had to be for the other one? Had to be a 5, right? Had to be a 5. That's important. And so because on this next problem, what am I working with here? 14. I need to get a 14, right? And so what do I have? 2. So what? It's got to be 7, right? Okay. So this next one, I'm working with 20, positive 20. Think about numbers that multiply to be positive 20. Okay, any others? 5 and 4. But what two numbers add up to be negative 9? 5 and 4, right? So 5 and 4. So a 5 and 4 will give me a negative 5, and a negative 4 will multiply to be positive 20. But it'll also add together to be my negative 9. So negative 5, negative 4. Now, this next one here is slightly different because they took out a 2 first. So everything is divided by 2. So it's basically, it's 2 quantity x squared plus x minus 12. So if you factor out a 2, it's going to look like this. So divided everything by 2. There's a 2 in front of this. Now, if you notice, what numbers am I working with? I'm working with negative 12, right? And I have a negative 3. What's going to multiply to give me negative 12? A positive 4, right? A positive 4 will give me a negative 12. But if I add those two numbers together, what do I get? Positive 1. So in this case right here, look at all my terms. Look at all my leading coefficients. Negative 1, positive 2, positive 1. What's going to be my leading coefficient? Negative 2? It's going to be a negative 2 because it's a negative 1, a positive 2, and a positive 1. So the number way out front should be a negative 2. All right. That sounds like it's time. So, okay. So you guys, that worksheet, 1213. Okay, please get that back in tomorrow. That is homework. Okay. If I haven't graded your notebooks yet, I'll get